So this is what you call a near miss. You're watching the Hoof GP. So we can all tell just from looking at this foot that this is a well kept cow. Her feet are not overgrown, they're not particularly imbalanced. Yes, they are a little dirty from walking on the manure covered floors, but that's about it. What I can tell you about this cow that you don't already know is that she's incredibly lame on this front right foot, and I suspect it's this inner claw, what we call the medial claw, because it's towards the middle ground of the cow's body. This crack in her white line immediately catches my attention, but this trim is slightly different from the other ones you've seen on this channel. This starts off looking like a regular trim and works its way towards being a beautifully clean trim. And then things take a dramatic turn for the worse. I'm actually really encouraged by what we've found already. The problem is obvious. She has a completely delaminated sole. This is an old cavity where there was once an infection. A fluid-filled cavity that caused her all of that pain. And it seems to be trimming away beautifully so far. Although I'm enjoying how cleanly this trim is going, it doesn't make all that much sense to me. This is a heel lesion, and problems like the one you can see right now, whilst uncomfortable for a cow, definitely don't cause the amount of pain I witnessed this cow enduring on her way into the crush. Something isn't quite right. I'm using the grinder to vastly reduce the height of that outer wall horn. It's incredibly hard, and forcing my knife through that wall horn takes its toll on the cow. To be honest, it takes its toll on my arms as well. It's not easy work. I know that that hoof is definitely uncomfortable, if not incredibly painful, so she is going to get a block, and while I've got the grinder in my hand, I might as well prepare this outer claw ready for a block to be attached. With the grinder, it's basically a rotary knife, and I'm able to be incredibly delicate with it. I'm able to remove minute fractions of hoof horn from the base of this cow's hoof. The only trouble is, it's also incredibly aggressive, so one false move from the cow, and it's game over. I'm actually starting to get rather frustrated. I pop on the block and begin my hunt for the real problem. It looks as though this hoof has trimmed out really well, but my experience tells me that something must be lurking beneath. Something I can't quite see yet. Something that is causing this huge amount of pain. I could see cracking hoof horn up the axial wall, the part I'm trimming away right now, and problems in there can be incredibly painful. I'm as diligent as possible by washing the whole area out so that I can see properly. Yes, there is a little bit of broken and terrible looking hoof horn right up in between the two digits. We call this the interdigital space, but again, I don't think this is what's causing the pain. I spray it with iodine anyway, just to make sure that we dry up and calisate all of that loose and partially detached hoof horn, before focusing my efforts in zone 3 of her white line. That's right, cows' feet are cut up into zones, 12 in all to be precise. Right, let's concentrate. Let's see if this is where the problem resides. Initially, because the double sole was so obvious, I didn't think that this crack went any deeper. Now, I'm absolutely certain that it does. Bingo. Brown gold. That is exactly what I was looking for. You wouldn't think I should be happy about something like this, but it means I know for certain what's been causing this girl all of that pain. Now the job is really on. We are incredibly close to the lamina corium, the part of the foot inside the cow's hoof, which actually holds the foot itself to the hoof capsule. And trying to remove the wall horn from around this lamina corium is a very delicate procedure, but at the same time, it's tough stuff, so I need to yank and carve my way through it, doing as little damage as I possibly can. Right now this trim has gone from incredibly neat to a little untidy, but soon that's all about to change. If you have a weak stomach, then I'd suggest you look away now and perhaps watch a different video. This is just about to open up properly. I desperately don't want to cut into her corium, but I am sure this is filled with fluid. It's so difficult working like this. You don't want to do any damage whatsoever, but you want to release as much of this stuff as you possibly can. I literally stop holding my breath and feel like I can breathe again. I haven't made a mistake. I've found the cavity, I've found the problem. And wow, no wonder it was so painful.
I did not expect that. That's mad, I thought that was...
This second cavity is substantial. That is the corium you can see just at the tip of my knife, and all I need to do to create the red stuff is touch it with the back of my knife. The corium is made up of incredibly delicate tissue. I'm using a razor sharp knife to cut away hard hoof horn, and sometimes that creates the inevitable. It's rare that we see this much blood on a cow's foot, but it's not the end of the world, and I'd much rather this be here than the alternative, leaving loose and detached hoof horn behind, leaving cavities, folds and flaps behind for debris, manure and foreign bodies to penetrate into and fester and make this cow's foot and her life even worse. This iodine and salicylic acid will completely sort this hoof out, and believe it or not, because it's gone so far, she should make a very quick recovery.